What's going on with Souths?
Oh, who knows?
Can you figure it out for me?
No, I can't. No one can. JD can't even figure it out, can he? I mean, they're just a mess. I mean,
well,
they were just
is it fair to say that bringing in
Friday.
Hawkins into the side didn't really solve anything, or
I don't think it made a difference, did it?
Yeah.
No. It didn't make a difference. I mean, and everyone talked about his kicking game, his control. I didn't think his kicking game was. I wasn't impressed with his kicking game at all.
No.
But it's hard when you're in a team that's completely devoid of confidence, and they bring you in and expect some sort of change, and they just didn't get one. And it's Cody Walker's struggling. I'm thinking he has 6 tackles or something. They were just blown apart.
Yep. And South Sydney are last on the NRL ladder.
Crazy, yeah.
I know. Well, we talked about this last week. We don't really look at the ladder too much, but geez, I looked at it this morning and went, Souths are last.
And what do you do when you've sort of rolled the dice, right? You dropped Lachlan Ilias. That's your big play, right? Your next move, you can't bring him back after 1 week. I mean, what message does that send?
Yeah.
It sends a message that you've panicked, basically. Your next, your only play left really is to either drop Kdouh or to move Latrell. And I don't know.
So if you drop Kdouh, just say for argument's sake, where do they go from there? Did they turn to someone like Jack White?
Put Jack at 6.
Then again, they've got skinny outside backstocks too. So it's almost like maybe he might think it's a way to strengthen the halves because Cody Walker's playing poorly. But then, are you weakening an already weak part of the side? So.
And if you move Latrell, well. Maybe those two things go hand in hand, right? So if you move Latrell to centre, then you move Jack to 6. But Jai Gray, then you're putting so much pressure on young Jai Gray to come in and make a difference. I mean, he's 19, 20, Jai Gray? And apparently he's going really good in New South Wales Cup. I saw him at the schoolboy champs a couple of years ago and he was unbelievable. He's a midget, but far be it from me to have a go at something about their height. But he's not a big kid, or he wasn't a couple of years ago.
And the reality is he is really talented, but there aren't that many small NRL players anymore. So, I don't know.
But he's since been going right. I mean, he's handling himself in the New South Wales Cup. So, or from what I understand, but it's just a bit early, I think.
Yep.
Get through this game, and they should beat Canterbury. As good as Canterbury are going, they should still beat Canterbury. They should have still have too much for them. Get through this game, hopefully win, get a bit of confidence back, and then if they lose this weekend, Friday all bets are off. Right? You just got to make changes. Otherwise, JD, I know that. Russ and the board threw their support behind him. But if you lose to Canterbury, they've got 2 more home games after that, before the bye, I think. You lose 3 straight at home, including Canterbury, all bets are off. Right? Yeah. There's no way you can consider the coach safe in that situation.
Yeah, because don't they have a pretty shocking run as well? Like, even with that bye coming up.
And they'll lose blokes in Origin. You're going to lose probably Latrell. You'll lose Cam Murray. Have they got anyone else?
Where are we? Latrell, Cam Murray.
What did Jack decide in the end? Is he available?
Yeah, apparently he's back.
If he puts in the performance like he did, I know it was first game back, but he wasn't coming back from injury. He shouldn't have been short on fitness. I know match fitness is different. Yeah. If he puts in that performance, he won't be in Origin.
I thought he was pretty good, Jack.
Did you?
A bit harsh. He had a go.
Jeez.
He had a go, Jack.
Oh, Nafahu White threw him off really badly for that try. He missed a couple.
So they've got Canterbury.
Yeah.
Then the Warriors.
Tough game.
Then the Sharks, so a tough game. Then the Bye, then the Storm, then Penrith.
Oh, man. That's ugly.
Season over by round 9, South Fence. That'll be...
you heard it here first. Mobsy. JD, did you hear that? Mobsy's put a line through, brother. Gornsky.
Let's put it up in the dressing room and go from there. But in reserve grade, so the great Marty Gabor was there at the game. I don't know if you got out there and saw any of that, but good performance from Ilias apparently.
Yeah,
set up a couple of tries, made a try saver. Jai Gray, your man, was electric again. Yeah. So, big cup win over the Roosters. So,
and there was a decent Roosters team too. They had a few good players running around. Siwa Wong was running around, and I can't remember who else, but it was a decent Roosters side. So, but it's all well and good winning reserve grade. Let's be honest, no one cares. No one cares. So they need to win some first grade games.
No, all they care about is getting players first grade ready, don't they?
Yeah.
And I think, Reedy, you're right. Like if JD does go back on Ilias now, it is going to look like he panicked a little bit. I mean, Sarah was in a similar boat after 2 games, so people were saying, you know, Burton's not a half, moving into the centres, Kdouh to fullback, make all these changes, problems with the 4-pack, and he stuck solid, right? He said, like, this is our game plan and we believe in it. And, you know, I know it's only 1 game, but he was proved to be correct. He didn't panic, and I don't know. I mean, it's a hard one. They're going to have to find something, because that run is atrocious. And what we saw from Para last year is the season can get away from you very quickly.
Why the drive-by? Sydney, minding my own business.
Getting shades of Parramatta 2023.
The only thing I would say, I mean, as a coach, right, if he does make that change, it's almost an acknowledgement that you got it wrong.
Yeah.
What's wrong with acknowledging you got it wrong? That's the only thing I would say.
If then you get it right,
yes,
you know what I mean?
If you get it right, after that. Yeah.
But he's in a tough spot, and I think...
I thought he handled himself well in the press comments afterwards, actually. You know, I was actually sending him a text saying, mate, I thought you handled that really well. Because it's really difficult when you're in a situation like that, and, you know, you're under pressure, and you've then got flogged, and you have us jackals in the media come in the press conference going, mate, why are you the right bloke to take...
Are you still the right I'm pretty sure it was
Why are you the right bloke to take this cup? Well, I thought he handled it pretty well, to be fair.
And he was pretty honest. He was honest with what he said about you know the toughest, the lowest point of his career. You know, but it's in saying that's also the challenge for him to dig himself out. So I'm with you. I think he handled that pretty well. It's just, you know, you look at across the board at Souths, and we were talking about this before. You look at that forward pack, and you've got Totola there, and then Kepi there. Does Kepi start with him? Do you start?
The recruitment hasn't been. I don't think the recruitment's been great.
But you've got Keon, who looks like a world beater on one side, Jacob Post on the other side.
So they've paid probably. They've obviously, I think they're paying all of Sean Kepi, right? But I think they're paying a lot of it. Just say they're paying $500 for Sean, right? They could have gone
$500.
Well, he was on 6, I think, from memory at Manly, 500 or 600. They could have gone and tried and get Adam Fanua-Blake for $1 million. Why wouldn't you just do that?
Yeah.
And he's a South kid, Adam Fanua-Blake.
Was Fanua-Blake available then, though? Did Kepi have them before?
Probably not at that moment. But if you hold your money back,
spend it wisely.
Yeah. I just don't think. I'm not sure if their recruitment's been great, because they're short in the middle. They got Totola's a good player, but he's a bit down. Tommy Burgess, I reckon, he's just about. I mean, Tommy won't get a deal beyond this year. He's just about shot to bits, right?
Davey Miley.
He's hanging on by his last legs. Davey Miley's obviously a young kid who's got a bit of talent, and then you've got Sean Kepi, who we all know my frustrations with Sean Kepi.
What are they?
Oh, Sean, don't start me on Sean. He comes up with a spectacular play, Sean, but there's always a blue in his game. So, you know, I just wonder whether their recruitment's been great.
Yeah, and Tommy Burgess is off to Huddersfield next year, isn't he? That's right.
And they're missing Jairo, obviously, at the moment. He's a big out for them.
That's a massive out. But you need... And they release Saluka Fafita to Canterbury. You want Davey Mawali. You want these young guys to be able to step up. But it's a lot of pressure on...
Hame Saleh.
Yeah, losing him to
They could have done with keeping him, right? So, they've got a few... I just think they've got a couple of things wrong in that department.
Yeah.
And when you start getting a couple of those things wrong, has that sort of flow-on effect where then you lose, then you can't... You know, you don't have the players to rejig your lineup. You get a couple of injuries. Your depths get tested.
Well, I think Jairo said yesterday that he's sort of looking at around 8 return, depending on how things go. But I don't know if he's going to be enough to make a difference, and by then the season might be.
Did I hear Campbell Graham say he was around 18? Blimey. Jeez,
which
that's
is
tough.
Which from what I heard from someone was a little optimistic as well.
Wow.
So I don't know, but we'll see what happens. On the flip side, I know we've been saying this first couple of weeks. James Tedesco, my goodness,
how good is he?
Oh, that double pump and then the Harbour Bridge pass over to
Dom Young, unbelievable.
And the entire game, you know, you look at the stats from him and the workloads there, and this is where, you know, it's wrong to compare Latrell with Tedesco because they're very different players. Because you want Latrell to give you those sort of 14, 16 really good touches when he has them, but Teddy's just everywhere, isn't he? Just such a worker. And for a guy who's not overly big to be so strong in that core to do what he does. He just having one of those years this year. It's tremendous. So good to see. Love watching great players play great, especially after the flack he copped last season.
Yeah.
Well, he's been one of their best players so far, and if people are talking about the Roosters, being a genuine title threat, then he's going to be key to that. But he's just one of those players that he did have a down season last year, but we know how good he is, and there was even some not necessarily. When I spoke to him during Origin last year with everything going on, I almost got the feeling that it had gotten to a point that where he was potentially thinking about walking away from Origin. But, I think given on his form, he's one of the first picked when you look at, how Latrell's going and the rest of it. So, he's going to be massive for that Rooster side, especially if they are going to make a charge for the title.
It was down by his standards, right? His form last year, not by mere mortal standards, right?
No.
It was down by his standards.
Love to have a James Erskine bad day.
Brandon Smith was good the other night. Love Brandon. He's a great bloke, great character in the game. But I think that was one of his better games.
Did you say crap bloke?
Great bloke.
Crap bloke. I was like, reading him, going to reel you in here.
Love Brandon. And Sammy Walker. How good was Sammy Walker?
Sammy was great before he went off. And when he copped the simultaneous knee and elbow from Jack Watt, how did that not warrant a look from the match review committee?
Well, they would have looked at it.
But he had his raised knee into his thigh, almost into his. I don't know. I thought there was something in that.
South is struggling. Now you're trying to get Jack White.
No, I just want it looked at. There's a couple of
cut it out.
Couple of judiciary things.
Leave him alone.
Scratched my head out, and that was one. But Sam Walker again,
very
tremendous.
Yeah,
and
playing tough this year too, Sam. So, Sandon Smith, you're right.
When he came on and was forced to do different roles because he came on in place of Brandon first, and then Sam goes off. Brandon comes in, and they worked really well together. That freakish kick, that would have made you proud back in your NSL days. What about that? The little
bit of
just lined it up.
And got a bit lucky though. It was Cam Murray with the straight hand, right? Knocked it down for him. But he's just a. What do they say? Eyes up football.
Eyes up football, yeah. But Sammy Walker.
Whatever the hell that means. He's an eyes up football.
Don't they? They look really.
Plays what he sees.
They look really well structured when Sam Walker's running that team at the moment. That's.
Are you calling for Luke Keary's head?
No, I was about to ask you the question. Luke Keary, what are we hearing? When's he back?
I think he's okay. I mean, they said he was pretty good after the game. And no, I think he's okay. I suspect he'll be back this week. I don't know 100%, but I did exchange a text with him the other day, and he said, "I'm going good." So wouldn't surprise me if he's back.
I was out there yesterday at training in Moore Park, and obviously with concussion and head knocks, it's one of the ones where you can't necessarily tell what is going on just by looking at someone. But both him and Sam Walker were out there, looked good, looked happy. Lindsay Collins, who also picked up a bit of a hamstring thing. From what I saw, he didn't take part in any of the warm-up drills, but was still at training. Terrell May looks like he's okay. So the one I did notice, however, was Sandon Smith was in a no-contact bib, so he might be out of contention, I think, with some sort of arm, elbow injury.
Who have they got this week? Roosters.
Panthers.
Oh, Thursday night. Yeah, of course, the blockbuster.
Oh.
What a game that'll be.
Yeah, tremendous.
So it looks like
we'll have to chase up what's going on with Sandon Smith then. That's a concern.
Yeah, well, apparently it was some sort of arm elbow knock, so he was in a no contact bib yesterday.